Hey guys, so we've just gone for our warm-up. Now we're going to progress through some deadlifts. The goal of this session is 5 sets of 5, but for week 1 we're going to use those 5 sets to build to a heavier 5 that we can work off for a few more weeks. So let's brush up on some deadlift technique quick. So have our barbell loaded. The way that I like to deadlift is I like to think about, I want my legs directly under my hips, and I want you to think about if you were to take a jump as high as you could. So if you were to step forward, jump, you want your feet to be in the same position as you would jump, because that's going to give you the best option to generate like maximum force off the floor. So my sort of jumping stance, feet under my hips. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my feet out slightly, like 5 to 1 on a clock face. That there is going to help my knees come out, which is going to engage my glutes. So if you do a quick drill now, have your hands on the outside of your glutes and your knees turned out, you'll feel your glutes switch on. If you turn your knees in, you'll feel your glutes switch off. So what we're looking for is we're looking for those glutes to switch on so we can protect our lower back. So feet under our hips, feet slightly toed out, knees pushing out slightly. Now we look at the bar and we've got knurling. I like to put my thumb on the knurling, and I like to keep that consistent for all of my lifts. So bench press, shoulder press, cleans, anything that involves that kind of grip, it's always the same distance apart. So thumbs on the knurling and then wrap our thumb around, thumbs on the knurling, wrap our thumb around. Now in this bottom position, we want to come down, we want to lift our chest up. We want to make sure that our knees are either in line with our feet or pointing just outside. What we don't want is our knees to fall in, because then we'll get that situation where our glutes don't fire properly. So we've got our knees pushed out, our hands are a good enough width apart. Commonly when you see people's knees fall in, they're gripping too narrow. So we've got our thumb on the knurling grip, and we've wrapped our thumbs round, knees out, feet under hips, toed out. Now I want you to imagine you've got a superhero emblem on your chest and you want to show the crowd that for the whole lift. So we've got that position, everything's in check, chest is facing the audience, my chin is up, looking in the direction I want to go. Pull the bar up your legs, squeeze your bum at the top, and then come down the same way that you went up with control. Now we have all those measures in place, we'll take a look at the side angle. So what we want is a bar to travel in the straightest line possible. We don't want any deviations out. Commonly, when people pull the bar, they'll come out around their knees, which is going to put a lot of stress on their lower back. So we want to make sure as we set up to the bar, following what I've just said, we want our shins pressed against the bar, and we want that barbell to drag up our legs. So we go through this again, we'll create a straight bar path. We've got bar pulling up our shins, and we squeeze our bum at the top. Notice at the top, I'm not leaning back, I'm just squeezing my bar. A lot of people will chase that lean back, and all you're doing is putting more stress on your lower back and not engaging your glutes. So, we're going to pull the bar up, squeeze our bum nice and tight, and then come down the same way that we picked it back up. So now we've got deadlifts in check with that form. Use that form, use the sets to progress up to a heavy set of 5 that we're going to work off for the next few weeks. Good job. So that's the deadlifts done. I'm a couple of weeks ahead of you guys, so that was 175 for 5 sets of 5. Now we're going to move on to pull-ups and Nordic curls. Hey guys, so we've just wrapped up our deadlifts, and we're going to progress through a superset now of Nordic curls and pull-ups. So you can see my setup here. What I've got is I've got a little barbell set up on the floor, so I'm going to basically scoop my feet under that, and then the pads there are just for my knees. And obviously we've got our pull-up bar and our resistance band up there to help with the Nordic curls. So we're just going to do 4 sets of max reps on pull-ups. So I just want to build some volume. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a score of our 4 sets combined, and then our goal is to try and beat that, maybe just by like 1 rep each week. So we like build like total volume on the pull-ups. And then we're going to work in sort of like the 5 to 8 rep range on Nordic curls. Nordic curls are like really quite taxing, so you know that sort of like 5 to 8 rep range is going to be really hard. So that's the setup. I'll quickly talk through the movements for you so you get a better understanding, and then there'll be like scaled options of the movements in the videos linked next to the actual like movement description itself. So we've got a Nordic curl. What we're going to do is we're going to slide our feet under the bar, like so. Stick this band under our sort of elbows and just under our chest here. Okay, the way I like to do this is I like to just scoop my thumbs on the band as I go down, because I don't want to have my hands out and cheat and like hit the floor too early. So I want a nice controlled descent, and ideally you want your thighs to touch the pad before your chest. This movement is really hard, so it's quite hard to do that, and I'm still working my way towards a full range Nordic with no band. So I stick my thumbs under here. This is my first rep, by the way, so if it's shit, I'm sorry. I'm going to squeeze our bum nice and tight. We're going to go down nice and slow. Good control all the way down. And we hit, give ourselves a tiny little push and come back up. Repeat that for 5 to 8 reps. If you can't go down all the way, stack up mats so you reduce the range. Even if you're only going to like here, that's fine to start with. When I first started this, I was maybe going to like 45 degrees, and yeah, we just built over time. We've got down to the floor with a band, so we can go through that. Once you've done your sort of like Nordic curls, we then move into our pull-ups. It's a bit of a sketchy setup. Hopefully you guys don't have that much of a sketchy setup. Pull-ups, you can choose to go overhand or underhand. I really don't mind. It doesn't matter. You'll get more bicep engagement if you go underhand. It's a bit more lat engagement and forearm engagement if you go overhand. I prefer an overhand pull-up. So we're just going to grip the bar and we're just going to pull and get our chin over the bar. Like so. If you cannot do pull-ups, we will work on an eccentric, which there'll be a video link in the description, and or bodyweight rows, which will also be in the description. So, just done my 4 sets of Nordics and pull-ups. Now we're going to move on to some, so last part of the workout. So we're just done with our pull-ups and Nordic curls. We're just going to hit some arm stuff, because who doesn't want stronger arms, right? My arms are pitifully tiny. I never used to work them when I did CrossFit, really. I just did all the pull-ups and stuff. So making a conscious effort now, try and get some arms that are bigger than my elbow joint. But who doesn't want bigger and stronger arms for jiu-jitsu, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some bicep curls. Now, when I do any arm stuff, I like to use fat grips. So if you can get hold of a set of those off Amazon or whatever, that's going to be golden for anything like rowing with dumbbells. Any dumbbell movement simulates a bit closer to the actual like wrist of a person. So in my eyes, it kind of sets you up for success with jiu-jitsu. So we're going to start with just 3 sets. We're just going to go high volume, so we're just going to do max rep sets, because we don't want our arms to burn out when we're doing jiu-jitsu, because you know that's going to be emotional for us. If they burn out, then we're fucked. So start building some volume, then we'll start looking at building some strength as we get deeper into the program. So what we're going to do to start with, we've got dumbbells, I've got my fat grips. Curl both dumbbells at the same time, twist at the top, nice and controlled on the way down. We're going to go max reps on bicep curls. Then we're going to move into French press. So laying back on the bench, arms extended, keeping your lower arm vertical. You're going to lower the dumbbells down nice and slowly to your shoulders and then drive up. Okay? This has been great for me. My arm popped in an arm bar, and just using that exercise alone has really helped like the recovery of that. And then the third exercise, just a lat raise. So we want to think about leading with our pinkies. I'm going to come out to the side, lead with our pinkies, come back down. Again, max reps. This makes you pull some funny faces, but who cares, right? Good, enjoy. Just finished up my last set of arms, so curls, tricep extensions, or French press and lat raises. All in all, good session, good 3 parts. Deadlift as our main movement. We had some pull-ups and Nordics. It's like a secondary to sort of like compound movements, and then some good accessories to finish. Good job guys, hope you enjoyed it.